Good morning and welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. And now our guest is Katherine Kenneally of Kenneally Acupuncture. And how are you, my love?
I am fantastic. Just getting settled in over here. kind of breezed in.
And kind of settling in after your fantastic vacation.
Oh my goodness, I'm telling you. Going to Hawaii was really the best way to unplug. And I talk about stress a lot with my patients and just in general, and we all, we've talked about it before, how it affects our health. And it was really great to be able to walk the talk. And to feel the tremendous difference that, we just all need to take time to truly, completely unplug from the rest of our lives.
That's
and,
very true.
Take care of ourselves. So
very true.
It's so powerful in terms of our healing and our health and wellness.
And
so anyway.
What are we talking about today?
Well, something that I've noticed is, and you see this with the seniors and as well as every other people as well, is that we have a great amount of inflammation and autoimmune situations and all kinds of things where our bodies are just not functioning the best way that they can. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, how acupuncture and some other things combined with acupuncture and, trying to discuss the kind of things that can be done to help people. I mean, yeah, sure, we go into a crowded room and you ask, does anybody have any kind of pain or inflammation in their body? And, I'm sure 3/4 of the room would raise their hand. So I think it's a very, very big, big situation, big issue.
What about that philosophy that you come from about balance in one's life and maintaining that balance? Acupuncture does that, but it's general overall feng shui type of sense that you have to have when you're dealing with life stresses, because you go to Hawaii, you get to walk the beaches there and kind of lay back and unplug, but you get back here and you have to find ways to maintain that balance.
Absolutely. And I so appreciate being on your show. I have to say thank you again for inviting me, because I love the combination of the Western medical and being able to talk to you guys from my perspective, which is the holistic perspective. And yes, indeed, Chinese medicine is all about balance. It's all about the yin and the yang. It's about finding that.
I thought it was the yin and the yang.
It's actually yang. I know when I started acupuncture school 20 years ago, yes, that came in with my yin and yang.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they pronounce it yang.
Yin and yang.
Yes.
Oh, I've got to remember that.
I mean, it's not that, critical. People do say yang, but that's the proper pronunciation is yang. But again, the idea is finding that place in the middle. And what can we do? You're right. I mean, it's harder when we come back into our everyday life. And I think some of the things that I like to share with my patients is, basically stop. Stop doing. And just be. And people go, what? What do you mean? What is that? What do I have to do to be? It's like, right? And truly,
Russ said that to me this morning.
Did he really?
Stop.
Well, he said, I've got to do. And he said, why don't you just stop and sit down and relax? I thought, but I got too many things to do. And I've got the radio show, and I've got to take the cat in, and then
Right, but
you're right.
That's exactly.
You got to stop and relax.
Just relax and just.
Some of that for you though, as I do house calls at Barbara's place for her husband, but you're doing these things, but you seem very relaxed in the process.
I am.
It doesn't seem like you're.
Really.
It's like you have. You still. I've realized she has some balance at home that allows her to.
And again, like not everybody can sit down and meditate for half an hour.
Yeah.
For example, and that's why there's various types of meditation, and there's one that's called a walking meditation or a movement meditation. So people are walking and being present in their body and breathing, but they're in movement because again, some people just have a tremendous difficulty. So it's more stressful for them to try to sit and meditate, for example, for 30 minutes. And that's what I also tell people. Even if you just spend 10 minutes a day of just sitting and breathing and just focusing on your breath and being in your body, again, it's the being. And
that's true. And I had an experience last night. Yesterday, we brought the kitty cat, one of our cats, home. She had dental problems and had to have her teeth cleaned and what have you. And they used they put her out. Well, when I picked her up yesterday at 4:30, she was just wobbly all over the place.
Bless her
So
heart.
we went
Drugged up.
to dinner and came home, and I picked her up and I took her to the bed. She spent the entire night just curled up inside my arms. She didn't move once. And I thought, is something wrong with her? You know? And when we got up this morning, she didn't want to drink anything, so I called the vet. He said, bring her back in. Because chances are she's dehydrated. But talk about relaxing me. And pets will do that
Absolutely,
for you. They're
yeah.
incredible. I mean, you just run your hand over, whether it's a dog or a cat or a bird. You know, just that soothing feeling of touching them. It completely says, wow.
And you know what part of that is? I mean, the animal itself and the energy exchange between the two of you, and it's very loving. But again, think about all the focus is going into petting the animal.
That's right. That's
Right?
exactly right.
You're not thinking about
no,
the grocery
everything
list
else
or-
is gone.
Right.
Except the animal.
Right. So there's another type of meditation.
Yes,
that's right.
it is.
Right?
That's exactly right. I never thought about it like that.
Right.
But you're right. You are constantly concentrating on that animal
Right.
when you're with her.
Right.
Or
There's
him.
nothing else.
So that explains why you are so balanced. To me, it does.
Well, it could be. Yeah, could be.
It's your cat.
Yeah.
The cat is it.
We have two cats. One goes to Russ only, and she runs from me. But Ginger comes to me.
Oh, I thought they were
know,
named Yin and
It's
Yang.
Ginger.
I forgot.
Well, it
I'm
could
sure there are
be.
cats out there now. I'm sure people have pets that have done that. You know,
Ginger and Spice.
Ginger and Spice. Oh, that's very cute.
Ginger is
Cuff and
she's
link.
Ginger. She's a ginger calico, but she's the one who logged on to me.
Right.
You know, and Spice, when she looks at me, her eyes get big and she takes off, but she goes to Russ.
Oh,
She'll jump up in his lap and go to sleep. But if I come around, whoops, she's gone.
Isn't that interesting? It's so funny how pets do that. That
It
they
is.
kind of, you know.
It's really very, very interesting.
Well, so there we've, you know, right there, there's another good example of the kind of things that can bring balance into your life when
That's
you
right.
have something else to focus your energy on. And in those moments, like you said, you're kind of just, you're there. You're in that moment, you're present, and all these things, you know, I'm sure these are buzzwords and people have heard it, but it's truly helps us stay more balanced is if we can just say, I'm going to stop, I'm just going to take 10 minutes out of my day and I'm going to breathe, I'm going to pet my cat, I'm going to have a glass of water, I'm going to stop doing. And I think many of us are so into multitasking, into doing, and that we think that we're relaxed doing because that's how we are. No, I feel better when I get my things done.
Yes, you're right.
but you know,
But there's nothing better than sitting down and doing nothing.
Right.
But sometimes that doesn't work.
What
You know,
doesn't work?
It doesn't work. Trying to get your own personal balance, and you have to then seek help
Sure.
to find that balance somewhere else. And
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about taking a drug, because, you know, I'm just not a firm believer that drugs help a lot of things. I think they cause sometimes more problems, but I think that there is a balance that we try to attain, but we can't do that, but we have to then seek professional help. And acupuncture is just one of those ways that helps some people out.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people just aren't, Kathleen, they're not aware of that.
Well, I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, people generally think of acupuncture as helping with pain. That's the most common thing. But over the years, obviously, it expands and it helps a lot of other things. And like you said, one of those things it helps the body find its balance again. So let's say someone comes to see me just for stress. Obviously, their things are out of balance. So I will talk to them about lifestyle. I will talk to them about their diet, hydration, all of these things. But additionally, then we look at, okay, where is the body showing that it's out of balance? And so that's what the acupuncture does through diagnosis, listening, and so on. I'm able to determine, okay, where are the organ systems? Where is the body out of balance?
Right.
And then the acupuncture then helps the body achieve balance. I mean, I'm only helping the body do what it already knows how to do.
That's very true.
Right?
But it's like a kickstart, though.
Absolutely.
Because you know, like I say, some people just cannot achieve it through their meditation, their feng shui,
Sure.
or whatever it is.
Right.
Their yin and yang. They can't.
Yin
They
and
just
yang.
can't find that balance. Their cat sometimes it's just not going to work.
Absolutely. Acupuncture, and again, it's beyond the stress. It helps with pain, it helps with inflammation, it helps with digestive disorders, menopause, all types of things that Western medicine, as you say, will automatically give you a pill. And then give you another pill because there's oftentimes side effects from the first.
Yeah.
And I'm not anti, of course, Western medicine by any means. I mean, I think there's a way that harmoniously we work together and that
Right.
it really is a synergistic relationship so that the two modalities can help each other, help people become
Right.
well.
Work together.
Exactly.
But the balance right now is leaning in the wrong direction. I think it's got too many people.
Well, you
when
certainly
you
see
walk,
it.
oh, I see it all the time.
Right.
With the pharmaceutical companies, and they're constantly flooding the airways with drugs here, drugs there. Every time you turn the evening news on, they got a drug commercial.
Right.
The big advertisements in the newspapers. I mean, we're supposed to believe you take a drug and you're going to be happy and well balanced. It just doesn't work that way. So it's leaning to one side, and we have to get out there the other modalities that are there to help us out. Acupuncture, chiropractics, holistic medicine. It's all out there that people should be exploring.
Right.
And sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. But that applies to Western medicine as well.
Right. Right. I agree.
I'd like to talk about something too that's on your list here. What is the amethyst biomat?
Well, here, I have a little bit of info for you guys.
Well, I have to tell you.
You won on it, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did. And it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. So relaxing and warm. Mm-hmm. Oh, you had no choice but to relax.
There we have it, right? And
You get on that bed and, it was wonderful.
Well, I'm very excited, I must say, about having this additional modality within my practice, and I've been incorporating it with the acupuncture. And there's been a lot of talk about far infrared saunas and sweating, and this is really out there because more and more studies are showing the benefits of integrating or using far infrared to help the body heal and to become, again, more balanced. It's one of those things. The biomat is one way to experience far infrared technology, and far infrared is just a measurement of light on the light spectrum. And far infrared, the far actually, and so the far infrared actually heats the body from within. And it pushes the heat outwards. And what that does is it increases the blood flow, the circulation, and again, back to what I started with, that reducing inflammation and pain in the body. Also, it can improve the cardiovascular because, again, when we're heating up, our temperature is rising, certain enzymes are being produced, and our heart rate, and we're sweating, so we're actually releasing toxins as well. So it's really, it's like I said, I'm very excited to have this, to make it available to my patients, either in conjunction with the acupuncture. I'll have them probably do it, usually do about 30 minutes before their treatment, or they come in and just have a session on its own for either 30 minutes or more. And I find 30 minutes is about the beginning of the smallest amount of time to really notice the therapeutic benefits of the far infrared mat. And it also has negative ions, which we're kind of familiar with, I think, from the beach. That's where the negative ions actually help us feel better. And so it elevates the mood. Like you said, it's very relaxing. People just in general feel better for doing it.
Feel better. You're right.
And like you said, you've had your own wonderful experience. In fact, I had a patient that was using it regularly for about 6 months, and she had a lot of surgeries in her knee and some muscle issues and stuff, and tendons and so on, and it really made a difference in terms of her recovery. And then she wasn't able to come for a while, and she absolutely 100% noticed the difference, and just in terms of her overall well-being, she felt less elevated, let's say. She found her energy a little more draggy and so on. So
Interesting.
It's really, really, really fantastic.
Isn't amethyst, that's a stone, or?
Absolutely, yeah. It
Yeah,
has
and
amethyst stones in there.
Oh, okay.
In the mat.
That's why I wasn't just randomly.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So it has amethyst chips in there combined with the far
okay.
infrared technology, and it has a little bit of tourmaline too. And stones have their own energy. You know, energetic principles. You know, crystal is what was used, quartz crystal in watches. So they do have their own kind of conductivity of electric energy. And so the combination then, again, elevates and increases the blood flow, and it's just a nice combination of the stones and the far infrared. Just from the standpoint of heating things up and getting things moving in a way that helps the body.
So that is something that you also have
At my
along
practice.
with the acupuncture.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, you do acupressure also?
I do some acupressure. I do some allergy elimination techniques, which are very beneficial. And I use the acupressure or acupuncture with that. But that's really the only instance that I use the acupressure. I don't do acupressure as a regular treatment for my patients. So that's but it is, I find that I prefer to do the acupuncture because, you know, acupressure is effective, of course, and that's wonderful for take home, and people can do self-treatments in between. So I may give people, you know, suggest an essential oil to put on certain acupuncture points and do a little pressure with that to kind of self-treat, to keep the treatment going.
Well, it's interesting.
Between their
It's
office
interesting
visits.
because when I've spoken about acupuncture, what? All those needles sticking in you? And some people have this horrible picture of all these horrible needles sticking all over you, but really you don't even know that they're being put in.
That's
you know?
exactly true. I mean,
And because
you know-
they're so thin you can almost not see them.
Exactly. And I've had people so many times go, "Did you put them in already?"
Yes.
"Oh, you're done? I can rest now?" And I said, "Yeah." And you know, our society, we are just, what is our experience of needles? What you know, usually without acupuncture.
With a shot.
Right.
A great big horrible needle that you stick in your skin and go, ouch!
Right, exactly. Or
And
you
it
get
does.
your blood drawn, right?
Yes.
That is our experience of that.
That's right.
So,
but the acupuncture needles, there's nothing to them. You don't even know.
right.
Because when I did it several times, I'd move my foot and oops, I pushed one out.
Right.
I didn't realize it, you know?
They don't go in very deep
No,
at all.
they don't.
Right.
It's amazing.
But they have to be placed in the right meridian.
Exactly.
Yes.
Meridians are the energy pathways on the body. I liken them to freeways, you know, of energy going
Right.
from top to bottom. Exactly. And that's part of the training, is that there's 365 labeled points, meaning that
one per day.
there you go.
Never
I
thought
thought that
about
was
that.
interesting, right? That it's the same number.
365.
And
That is interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes.
And so we have to learn. And then there's all these other points that they don't have. For example, they have like spleen 6, spleen 7, spleen, and each meridian has a certain amount of points along it. And so obviously the key is to, you know, find the points that are going to direct the chi or the energy in the body where we want it to go. So let's say somebody has a headache. There's a couple of points on the foot, for example, that I would needle to help draw the headache out, draw the headache down, that connect to the energy in the head.
How about anxiety?
Anxiety, there are points in the hand, along the wrist, and there's points in the ears that I would use.
Wow,
Ears
wow.
are the ear is a microsystem for the entire body.
Wow.
Yeah, there's points in the ear for every organ in
Interesting.
the body. There are acupuncturists, that's all they do, is they only do ear acupuncture.
When I was 11, my mom had back problems, and she went to an acupuncturist, and I got to see the needles go in, and it didn't scare me at all.
Right.
But one treatment, and all of a sudden, she got off the table and walked, and I thought, that's a miracle. So I was a believer at 11 years old.
I think that's wonderful. I love that
and
story.
then going to Catalina, I got sick, seasick, and then I used acupressure using the wristbands that you use
Exactly.
for pregnancy.
Right,
I
the
wasn't
C-bands.
pregnant at the time, but I
goodness.
did use them.
Good to know.
And it was miraculous also. So, you know, they're just from my own personal experience, I just love the fact that there are things that are being used that certainly don't come under Western medicine, but have profound effects on our patients and bring them back to balance.
Absolutely. And I work with a lot of seniors. I work, with seniors. I work with infants. I work with everything in between, athletes. I mean, it's wonderful for recovering for people that are athletic and they want to improve their running ability or their times. I've worked with several runners that are ultra runners that run 100-mile races. It's just astounding to me.
Well, let's continue that. We need to take a quick break.
Okay.
I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Katherine Kenneally of Kenneally Acupuncture, the Healing Light Resource Center, facilitating health and well-being. And before the break,
yes,
we talked about runners.
Right. And yes.
And I wanted to kind of zero in on that and talk about how that helps.
With the acupuncture?
Yes.
Well, athletic performance, people have to have lung capacity and their muscles have to be strong. And so the acupuncture absolutely can help with that. As I said, I've treated lots of athletes and also if they have injuries, athletic injuries, strains, sprains, tendons, all that kind of stuff can be helped and treated with acupuncture. So yes, the acupuncture, again, like we're talking about, brings the body back into balance, strengthens the lung capacity. Again, dressing anything that's going on. Oftentimes people are very high performance athletes, they're very conscious of their bodies and they're hopefully very, they're hydrating and doing everything else.
Yes.
So again, it's about bringing blood flow, it's about increasing expansion, the ability for the lungs to expand, and just the overall body strength. And as I was saying earlier about the biomat, the amethyst biomat, far infrared, is also tremendous for helping people recover and muscle recovery and so on, and get that lactic acid, push the lactic acid out of the muscles, which creates the soreness and discomfort. And, anything that slows them down, is going to slow them down in terms of their recovery and performance.
That's right. The two go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
They do.
But everything is a balance, isn't it? That's what it turns out to be.
Back to the balance.
The reality is that, when we look at Western medicine, they don't emphasize that at all. But the ancient Asian Chinese medicine has been kind of worked out for 2,000 years. So you look at that and you say, well, 2,000 years versus a few hundred years with Western medicine. You
right.
go, what kind of experience is going to be there in that short period of time? And, to me, it hasn't been enough, because for practicing for the many decades that I have, I still don't see Western medicine defining why the other modalities that are out there are effective. They just don't define it, and maybe they just don't want to. I don't know. Some secondary gain from that. But I think the public is missing out, and our seniors are missing out too, if they don't at least examine the possibility of finding balance in acupuncture.
Absolutely, and like I said before, it really works hand in hand. And they've actually done scientific scans of the body now. I think we talked about last time, where they've actually identified the meridians. So it's not
right.
just kind of in the head anymore, like, oh, that's hocus pocus. They've actually identified the meridians and these energetic points of sensitivity along the meridians.
And that's evidence-based.
Exactly. That is science.
And they couldn't prove it before, and everybody said hogwash, and now they can prove it.
Exactly.
And
no more hogwash.
The true evidence-based was the fact that it has lasted for so long and been used for so long effectively. That to me is evidence-based. It's just the fact that, you just didn't get the scripture to write everything about everything that was going on to prove to the world that this was going to be useful or helpful to patients and the population. And indeed it is.
It is.
That's
absolutely.
right. And you were talking during the break about a special you were going to put on?
Well, I just want to let everybody know that I do offer a free consultation. So if anybody has any questions after the show or just in general and they want to find out is acupuncture something they can would be beneficial for them, I do offer a free consultation. And then I'd like to offer a special opportunity for people to come try the Amethyst Biomat. So I would like to offer a complimentary 15-minute session to come just get a sense of what the Biomat is. And if they wanted to continue and do an additional 30 minutes, then it would only be $20 for the 30 minutes versus $35. But I'd like to offer a complimentary 15-minute just to come try it out and see how amazing and relaxing
I can vouch for it.
and
done it.
helpful it is
Yes.
to our body's balance and recovery.
So how did they get a hold of you?
Well, that's important information, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very.
I can be reached at 661-252-4100, and I'm co-located with Beyond Harmony Med Spa over in Canyon Country, and that's 18635 Soledad Canyon Road, Unit 101. But just give us a call, 661-252-4100. And again, I thank you both for having me on the show today. It's
Well, I'm
always
so glad.
Yeah.
So much
like
fun.
you said, I was looking through all my papers to find out where you were. She hasn't been on in ages.
well.
But it's great.
It's been a great morning. Thank
Yes,
you
Great.
so
it
much.
Thank you,
has.
Katherine Kenneally. You brought the balance back to what we need in this community. And by doing that, it's educated our seniors to better health. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We are sponsored by Advanced Audiology and SCV In-Home Care. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.